I'm back. So it's me, Natalie. So once again, we will be discussing Audre Lorde's Zami, a new spelling of my name. We're actually going to be focusing on the quote for close reading on page 176. It says, it's the start of chapter 23, and it says, I remember how being young and black and gay and lonely felt. So the literal content, I just want to go really quickly, is that she's just reminiscing about her younger years, and it's almost like there's a feeling of nostalgia here. And then my thesis that I came up with after doing the close reading is, in this singular quote of just 12 words, Lorde utilizes diction in order to show how all aspects of her life and past contribute to her own personal intersectionality. Okay, so she groups her words into like singular sections by sticking ands in between all of them. Because of this, the words become separated into their own separate spheres: young, black, gay, lonely. These are all separate parts of her. They're not, by putting the and in between them, she makes it apparent to readers that these all hold an equal importance to her, but they can also stand on their own as part of her identity. Sorry. If there were just commas, so if the sentence read like this, I remember how being young, black, gay, and lonely felt. It doesn't have the same amount of like resonance for readers. It doesn't give you that these are all parts of her identity and they're equal, but they're different and they're standalone. If they're commas, we just see that there's part of a list, part of who she is. With the ands, we see there's not a list. It's just a characteristic of herself, and it's not just a list. Lorde does she wants readers to understand that these different aspects of her life, they're different aspects. They're not always connected, but they can be, and how they do stand alone. They're not always intersected. They can stand alone to affect her. Being young can affect her. Being black can affect her. Gay can affect her. Lonely can affect her. And being gay and lonely, and young and black, and lonely and black. There's different combinations, and they're not always all playing at once, and she's getting this all just through using ands in her work. And she doesn't, when she writes, she does not necessarily have to have these words standing alone with the and in between them for readers to understand that they're all equal parts of her, and they can intersect or they can stand alone. So why is she doing this? Why has she decided that she's putting an and here? It's a deliberate decision that Lorde made. Why did she do it? And what does it say about her own personal intersectionality? Another thing I want to focus on about diction is that, so if you actually look into the quote, like the form of it, it says all the three adjectives, young, gay, and lonely, are all start with a lowercase letter, yet black is capitalized. Why is this? We touched on it in class, but I feel like we need to talk about it a little bit more. Not only is black capitalized in this quote, it's capitalized throughout the entire novel. Is this her making a statement or just being consistent and following grammar laws? I feel like while it's important throughout the entire book, obviously I don't think Lorde does anything by accident. I feel like it's really important in this context because while these are all intersecting and they're all part of her intersectionality, I feel like she wants readers to know that it's the one, being black is the one part of her that sticks out the most out of all parts of her identity. And I wonder, is she trying to say to readers that this is what defines her the most through diction? That even though these all contribute to her intersectionality, young, black, gay, and lonely, and they all intersect, because black is capitalized, does that mean that this has like 80% of her life? It's the biggest part of her life. While this quote is supposed to show readers her intersectionality and how these four aspects of her life have played out in her past and will play out in her future, and define it, it's supposed to be definite because and is a definite subject, but it's not definite, which is almost ironic, because we end up thinking more questions. What is she trying to say about intersectionality? Why is black capitalized? Why does she do this? Why is it questionable? Is it because intersectionality is always changing? that parts of our identity are always changing and the effect they have on us always change. I'm not Lord. I can't really speak on it, but I think it's very interesting that it gives us more questions than answers. Why is this? That's my close reading of Zami. See ya.